Hey guys, and welcome to another ST video. We're going to have a look at another arcade conversion for the ST, and this time it's Rampage, published by Activision in 1987 and developed by Catalyst coders. And they also made Flying Shark, which was a pretty good ST arcade conversion. And I remember being really excited about the ST version of this game. I had seen pictures of the arcade game, never played it, but it looked really nice, and I mean, what kid wouldn't want to be King Kong or a kaiju just laying waste to a city? It just seemed like an awesome concept. But I remember when I got it, I wasn't that impressed with it, and I can't quite remember why, so it's going to be interesting to reacquaint myself with the game. And coding of the ST conversion was handled by Carl Jeffrey, who also worked on R-Type 1, and I think that is the only other ST game he's worked on, as far as I know. And this game is of course based on the Bally Midway arcade game that was released in 1986 in the arcades. And the game was indeed a financial success in the arcades, and apparently one of the last successful titles for Bally Midway. Game design was handled by Brian Collin and Jeff Norman, as far as I know. And Jeff also coded the game, and Brian worked on the graphics with some other people as well, I believe. And the coder Jeff was also involved with Rampage World Tour, which I think is kind of the sequel to Rampage. And also Spy Hunter 2, Xenophobe, and quite a few other games. And Brian was also involved with Xenophobe and Spy Hunter 2, and also worked on Spy Hunter 1 and a bunch of other games, both arcade games and otherwise. And I did get to play Rampage finally in May, back in the late 90s, I think, and found it quite enjoyable. And it's still kind of a fun arcade game, even though maybe a bit clunky by, today's standards. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it when I was recording the footage for this video. So yeah, enough of that. Let's just dive into the ST conversion, shall we? Finally. Load times are pretty beastly in this game. And yeah, we have some fairly decent looking graphics here. Looks a bit like the arcade, but the arcade had an interesting mix of high-res and low-res graphics. I mean, the sprites in the game were high-res, whereas the buildings were low-res, and maybe some other details as well, so that was kind of interesting. Kind of a similar approach as was seen in Xenophobe, I think it was called. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back on track. So let's just make Lizzie not active, and let's have Ralph in the game, because that's probably going to be interesting. I mean, the multiplayer aspect of the arcade, I think, was the primary, the best way to play it, really. Not that I've experienced it, but I can just imagine, because there is a competitive aspect as well of this game. And yeah, the graphics still look rather nice. Although not quite as detailed, of course, because... Oh, just ate a human. Because the arcade game was pretty high res for an arcade game as well. Used a higher res mode than was usually the case, I think, in the mid-80s. And I don't know why do I keep climbing the wrong building? Please climb up here. Come on. The controls are a little bit wonky, I have to say. And I'm not doing my job here as a kaiju, or well, a big fat King Kong monkey wannabe. Not destroying the buildings. And what's George doing over there? Come on, George. Come over here. Is he going to punch me? I'm going to punch him. Alright, let's carry on. The arcade game was pretty decently easy. And I don't know why I can't climb up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the controls are definitely a little bit wonky. And we shouldn't punch... Oh crap. Punch TVs really that are on, because they will electrocute me, even though I'm a big fat monkey. Yeah, I mean, it's reasonably satisfying, this. Sometimes I can't climb the right building. It really would need some more work, I think. Oh, sorry, George. Didn't mean to. How do I jump, by the way? Not entirely sure. Is it up and fire? Maybe I can't jump. Or maybe I need to press a different button or something. There's also a lot less going on in the ST version here. less sprites attacking you, which I found a little bit, annoying in the arcade version. It was really hard to dodge every possible bullet. Every bullet. Oh, I think George is a goner. He gets turned back to his human self. And, come on. How do I jump? I am not sure. Oh, I had something I couldn't take there. Yeah, the controls are really rather annoying. Come on, get up on the building. Get up. Okay, thanks, George. I promise I won't punch you anymore. Yeah, the game is rather easy. Yeah, again, a bit like the arcade. And I don't know, I keep saying it, but it's the truth. I keep grabbing onto the wrong buildings here. But it's reasonably fun to destroy stuff here, so yeah. I remember liking this. Just because I could ruin buildings and lay waste to this city. Oh, I managed to jump somehow. I'm not sure how that happened. Oh, I double tapped the joystick. I see. Oh, the fire button, I should say. And I never played this with any friends back in the day. So I'm thinking that would most likely have made me, enjoy it more. There we go. Another building laid waste to. And I don't know why I can't hit diagonal sometimes. And again, I don't want to climb. Oh, yeah, the controls are rather infuriating, to be perfectly honest. Can I jump onto a building? No. Oh, sorry, I meant to jump there, not punch in the face, George. No, I don't think I can. Yeah, I can actually, but it is really clunky to control this compared to the arcade version, which was really rather solid. No, oh, damn, I shouldn't have eaten that guy. I think that's going to give me heartburn. Nope. All right. Let's move on to the next city. Yeah, I keep jumping when I don't want to. But yeah, it's tricky making this work. Oh, I think I'm a goner. Yeah, it's tricky to make this work well with only one fire button, really. And it would have been a pain in the butt to have it assigned to like a key on the keyboard. That would not work very well. Let's just join the action. That's nice. I don't have to restart. Oh, goody. But I do feel that there's something lacking. Even disregarding the infuriating controls. Well, maybe they're not quite infuriating, but they certainly aren't great. Even disregarding them, it just feels like there's something lacking. Just not as much fun. And again, I keep climbing up the wrong bastard building. This really is rather infuriating. And now I'm punching George in the face. I'm sorry, George. And the game just keeps going. There's nothing much new happening, which, yeah, and come on, climb, please. Jeez. Come on, get down. And now I can hit diagonally down. That doesn't always work. I don't know why exactly, but it just doesn't work. What? I'm trying to climb the other building there. That didn't work. Oh, heartburn again. Oddly enough, it looks like I'm eating the TNT, but not the person. That's weird. Oh, that was a safe. Gives me points. And yeah, now, finally it worked, jumping onto a building. It really is clunky. I think this is probably the reason why I wasn't that fond of the game back in the day, and possibly also the fact that I really didn't play it with anyone else. I think that would make the game a whole lot more fun. Okay, one puny building. Okay, let's see what we can get this done. Oh, I think I ate something. Let's work together, George. Could you please get off? And why is it? And then it just hangs onto the building, even though I'm double tapping. Doesn't work. Yeah, I don't know how many stages there are. I think there were quite a few in the arcade version, and there seems to be quite a few in the ST conversion as well. And it's also a little bit weird how sometimes the soldiers just doesn't fire at me. They just fire in a random direction. And the game also generally feels slower. It takes longer to eat things. It takes longer to die. It just generally feels slower than the arcade. Anyway, George, come on. Can we get some stuff done here? No, please. I want to ruin the building. The satisfaction. Yeah, I mean, the idea is great. It's just an amazing idea to just get to destroy a city, punching buildings. It's a great, way of getting rid of stress. And okay, I didn't want to jump there. Please climb the building. Whatever your name is. Climb the building. Why are you not... the controls are really the main source of frustration, I must admit. Jump off, please. Apparently I can't just double tap. I need to press a direction as well. So, yeah, the controls are, as I've said about 1,000,000 times, pretty damn clunky. And wow, we're just moving along here. I have a feeling that it's going to be pretty easy to defeat this game. Especially with computer-controlled characters. But, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure this would have been fun in two-player mode, right? And now he's jumping even though I don't want to. Please don't. Just, no, climb down. Climb down. Give me that coffee, please. You're not supposed to chew coffee. Or, well, I guess if it's really bad, really, like, it's been brewing all day, then maybe you can chew it. I don't know. Probably not a good idea, though. Finally, he actually grabbed onto the building straight away. Color me impressed. Yeah, I feel that the game could need some more fine-tuning for sure. There's a lot of clunkiness going on. But it's not a bad game. It's a decent conversion, I would say. And yeah, I would probably have been a lot more forgiving back in the day, especially if I'd been playing this with some friends. And I think the SD version supports up to 3 simultaneous players. That's pretty cool. And the arcade version, I think, supports 4? Or am I just confusing it? Maybe it's just 3. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, anyway, not too much else to see here, so I think we're going to call it quits. Just going to punch George in the face one more time for good luck. And let's have a look at a couple of reviews. Computer and Video Games gave the game a playability score of 7 out of 10, and they wrote, "Nice one, Activision, but just one moan. £24.99 is a bit steep, don't you think?" Yeah, that is rather expensive of what you get. It's not really that much of a game you get. I think you can run through this pretty quickly, especially in multiplayer mode. And I also found a French review from Generation 4, and I think they gave the game an overall score of 67%, which, yeah, that feels just about right as well. And wrote, if I understand the French correctly, a good adaptation of the original arcade game. And of course, this was early days for arcade conversions on the ST, so I suppose this would have been pretty impressive back in the day if you played it in '87, but of course there were far better conversions made further ahead in the ST's life. And honestly, I think I would rather have played like Joust, which was an excellent arcade conversion and also pretty early, I think, and it was an excellent conversion and a really fun game in my opinion. So yeah, it's a little bit meh, I suppose, but not really a bad game and not really a bad conversion. Well, hope you enjoyed, and as always, hope to catch you next time. Cheers!